Well, hello there and welcome to a series I'm really looking forward to doing. It's Motorsport Manager here on PC. I played this game quite a bit at the beginning of the year when it was out on Android smartphones, whatever you want to call them, and quite had a lot of fun with it. But this one is now a massively updated version. There's other people playing it as well. So this is going to be a bit of a learning curve for me. I have done a couple of races. I think I started in the top tier, the World Motorsport Championship, whatever it was, and just did a couple of races just to get my feet wet. But I've decided to now make a proper career mode here, and I've taken Predator Racing Group, which is the absolute worst team. So this will be interesting. So this is the main hub, as you can see. We've got our two drivers over here, Santa Ana and Evans. There's the car, it's red and white, looks very nice. Chairman's happiness is okay, job security is secure, and as you can see up here, we've got the team stats. These little arrows, I believe, means like average performance in the championship. And as you can see, we are at the bottom. We're the worst. It's sponsors, the staff, 8 for our headquarters, but that's not too bad, I suppose. Drivers are the worst. That's disappointing. And the car is obviously quite terrible as well. To championship standings, we've got everything else up here as well. Our balance as well, which is pretty low. So we might as well get straight on into the mail. See what we've got here. Hi Alexander, welcome to Predator Racing Group. We're all delighted that you've chosen to start your managerial career with us here. Hopefully there are some great times ahead of us. I'm Tommy and I'll keep you up to date with everything going on around the team. He's my assistant. We've got Inez, Santa Ana. You're not really a racer, are you? More of a political kind of person, right? Oh well, whatever. Oh fine. I'll get onto the political side in a minute. I'll get on really well with William Evans, so I hope you're going to keep us all feeling like one big happy family. Looks like we've got a great chance at winning some silverware this season, boss, so let's give it our best shot. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. William Evans, pretty much the same really. I'm going to work my socks off to prove I'm a much better driver. The design facility here with our lead designer Charlotte Williams. There's always room for improvement, yet there will. And a report on our drivers. Predicted end of season finish 19th for Santa Ana and William Evans is 20th. And our test driver, Katie Linares, is one of the weakest drivers, so pretty poor on the whole driver front, it seems. So the targets, it's the start of a new season, so we need to clarify just how well I think the team is going to do this season, which sets the payment amount that I'll give you after each race. Now I know that we don't have the greatest team in the championship, but I can offer you a little more cash if you think that we can avoid coming last. Can we hope to avoid finishing at the bottom of the team's championship? So he's offered me 1.84 million per race if we finish 8th or above. Well, we have to aim for 8th or above, or 1.54 million if we finish 10th, and there's only 10 teams, so I'm going to take 10th to play safe, which means that if we end up doing completely terrible, I still probably won't lose my job. And now, next thing to do, looks like we've got some sponsors here as well, so we'll have a quick look here. We've got a few empty offers over here. So this one here, race bonus sponsors, Wonderluck, target position 2nd or above. Deal length is 4 races. So we get an upfront payment of £100,000, which is nice, and a bonus payment of £650 if we finish 2nd or above, and that bonus is times by 2 at the Germany race. I'm going to take it anyway. I'm not going to take this one and aim for 2nd, but I will take the £100,000. So here we go. Let's put a little bit more in the coffers, and we've got another one here as well, 9th or above. Upfront payment of £750 and a bonus payment of £450 if we finish 9th or above, so I'll take that one as well, and that's a bit more money in the coffers, so we should be just over £1 million now. Indeed we are. Right, that's nicely done. Sponsor appeal level, I've been told that we can only get this if we build a helipad, and we need the marketability of the team and the drivers to push us up the level. The more stars we get, the bigger sponsors we get, which is more money, so that's always helpful. Let's have a quick look at the player there. There I am. Backstory Politico. What that essentially means is I get 4 extra votes for all the potential rule changes that will come into effect next season. You could choose other things like X-Designer, which means designing new parts happens a little bit quicker, X-Driver, which gives your drivers a boost in morale, and I think there's a financial one as well, which means everything's like 5 or 10% cheaper. But I've gone for the political one to hopefully help us bring in some new rule changes that might benefit us in the next season. So these are the votes that will be happening throughout the season. The first one's in 9 weeks, which is replacing Milan Track A with Track B. What's the difference? Oh, there's a chicane there. That doesn't really make any difference to me, so I might abstain from that and then get an extra vote. You see, I've got 4 votes already. Spec gearboxes. Gearboxes can no longer be developed in-house. All teams use a standard gearbox of performance level 150. This lowers the annual cost of car development substantially. That'll be something that I might be voting quite heavily for, because A, it means that everyone has the same gearbox, and because we're the worst team, our gearbox is probably quite terrible compared to everyone else. And B, it saves us money developing the gearbox. So that's definitely a win-win for us, I think. Spec brakes is another one as well. I may very well vote for that as well. Again, it just puts everyone, for that particular item, the brakes, puts everyone in the same keel, and I don't have to spend any money on developing it. So again, that's another bonus for me. And refueling using 80 kilogram fuel tanks. Fuel tanks can last up to 80% of race distance. Pardon me, this guarantees that teams need to make at least one pit stop during a race. In comparison to a championship without refueling, this costs £20,000. So I'm not too sure about that really, but anyway, certainly the the gearbox and the brakes I'll certainly be looking towards. What else can we look at quickly? There's our balance up there. Income cost per race at the moment, per race, with spending £700,000 on next year's car. What I'm going to do is bring that down to low. So I've been told it doesn't really matter. You can set it to high. It doesn't necessarily give you better parts, so I've been told. It just means that you save a bit of money. So if your balance is quite low, let's say you've only got 3 or 4 million at the end of the season, if you've ended up saving, let's say, 8 or 9 million rather than 5 or 6 million, it just gives you, it means it's less of a chance of you going into debt when developing next season's car. So we'll set it to cheap anyway, because I think during the course of the season, with the sponsorship money we'll get and prize money as well, we will make a bit of money. So I'll set it to low, which means our income is now £838,000. Drivers are costing a bit, race mechanics, designer, the headquarters, upkeep and staff, and travel costs. And then obviously the chairman payment of 1.5, and obviously our sponsor as well. We've got a sponsor that's giving us £200,000 a race. But we have got, if we look down there, 2 empty spaces. I'm hoping we get some more sponsors before the first race, which will give us a bit more money. Right, finances, staff. We've got Oscar de Verit, who's pretty poor to be honest, and Tom Woodbridge, who again is pretty poor, and Charlotte Winner are all pretty poor, aren't they really? The drivers, this is important, so we'll start with Inez Santa Anna. 2 and a bit stars at the moment, for potential of getting to 3 stars, so pretty much just a midfield driver. All these stats are out of 20, and you can see here their improvement rate, depending on their age, their potential, and how much they can improve. And also, when it comes to the HQ, once you've updated all the HQ and you've built new buildings, the improvement rate goes up a little bit more, because obviously they can test brakes on the test track and stuff like that. So all of these are pretty much, no, that's 0.9, but all of these will go up slowly during the course of a year. She's grounded, which means that a mechanic relationship is plus 15, and it's a permanent thing. So if you see down here, some of them are temporary, some of them permanent, and this one here, H dueling, only applies when there's exactly one other car within 1 second of a driver on track. So pretty much at the start of the race, she's going to be pretty poor, because all her stats there, as you see, they all go down 1, which isn't helpful. We'll look at our next one, W. Evans. I don't know what the W is, but anyway, as you can see here, he's pretty crap to be honest, and his improvement rate is about the same as Santa Anna, but I'm not expecting anything from him. He's a team player, so his mechanic relationship, teammate morale, and chairman happiness is all up plus 10. Action adverse, overtaking -2, so that doesn't help, and a wet weather struggler. When it's wet, he loses more time as well. So if it's wet, basically he is the worst driver ever. And then Katie Linares, as we know, she's content. So yeah, she's pretty happy where she is, and you can see her stats are pretty terrible as well. Although improvement rate's slightly higher, but she's pretty much peaked out anyway. So drivers will be something I might keep them for the whole season just because they're quite cheap, but I think in the long run I'll be getting rid of all of them pretty soon. The team, as you can see there's our lovely car in red and white. Pretty much this is just a smaller version of the main page as well. Shows our lead designer, mechanics and drivers. The HQ, come on, there we go. Right, we'll look at this. We've got factory and design level of 1 out of 4. New buildings, these can be built at any time. Takes 16 weeks for a forecasting centre, but they are quite expensive, as you can see, and most of these you can't get until you upgrade the factory and the design centre. These things here, 20 weeks, so that's almost half the season, and it costs 8 million. And then finally the car, which is quite important here. You can design new parts at any time during the season, and then obviously you can fit them. You can change your car livery, which I'll probably do, so I don't really like this red and white, but it costs £500,000, so I'll probably do that next season. And then the most important thing, which I'm going to do before the first race, is improve car parts The performance, as you can see, the brackets is the max performance of that particular part, but if you was to design new parts you could make them a little better. And as you can see here, the front wings and the rear wings are spec parts, and the reliability is the most important thing. You need these to be basically in the 90s, 100% ideally, because in the practice sessions the performance doesn't go down, or sorry, the reliability doesn't go down, but in the race it does. So, I mean, you're looking here 80, 80, 80, 80, 75, 80, 50, 50 for the gearbox. That's probably something that I could look towards improving reliability before the first race over there. So you've got all the staff working on reliability. 27 days after the race, both gearboxes will be 100% reliability, but after probably the first race, I'll take it off because it'll be around the 70% mark, and then I'll put it on either the brakes or the engine, because I'd rather have everything in the 70s and 80s rather than 2 or 3 things at 100 and then everything else at 50, 60, because we'll end up just retiring from every race. So that's pretty much it. We've got the first race in 16 days, 10 races over various, looks like we're in Germany and Italy twice, so that's nice. So I'll skip it forward now. I won't do the first race in this episode, but hopefully we can pick up some more sponsorship as well. I might actually try and scout a few drivers just to see if there's anyone decent out there that we can get. That's roughly the same price but a bit better. So we've got some mail. Let's have a quick look here. Lilian is new Predator Racing Group Manager. Very nice. Jar is nearing the end of his career. The fan reaction is mixed. And an interview request, so we'll take that now. Well, you've certainly picked a tough task for your first job. Yeah, you're telling me. Are you expecting to pick up many points at all this season? We're going to surprise a few people, mark my words. I'm quietly confident we'll manage a few decent finishes, but I'm making no promises, and it'll be a struggle, there's no denying it. I'll go middle ground. And as you see there, the morale of both drivers goes up a little bit as well. And the higher the morale, the better they are on track. Although I think with, William Evans is his name, I don't think he'll get much better anyway. Inez Santa Anna is seen by fans as your top driver. Do you agree with that, or would you say that William Evans is better? Santa Anna is definitely the better driver. I'm a big fan of William Evans. He's my number one. I'm lucky enough to have inherited 2 great drivers. Frankly, I haven't been blown away by over them. I'll go for that one there, C. Yeah, both of them a little bit happy. In the Motorsport season preview, I wrote that you expected to finish 10th in the team's championship. Is that accurate, or do you think you can do any better? We'll do better, I can promise you that. The prediction seems fair, but I'm hoping that we're going to surprise a few. And I hate to disappoint the fans, but it seems realistic to me. We have to be honest and admit that we are going to have a tough year. Again, I'll go B. Prediction seems fair. There's no change there. And you're known within the world of motorsport, but only as a GMA administrator. Will your political history raise any eyebrows within the team? This could be an interesting answer. If anything, it will help. I plan to use every angle I can to help the team, political or otherwise. They shouldn't worry. Not many managers can say that they know the sport all the way to the top, and I'm seeing it as an advantage. Or I know that some people don't like the grubby political side of the sport, but I really enjoy it and it'll make a real difference. No, I think I'll go for C actually, see what that does. Oh, chairman's a bit happy. But there we go, that's the interview done. Marketability is still quite low, but there we go. Right, no more sponsorship offers. Right, we might as well skip on then because the first race is only in 10 days. So hopefully we can get a couple of sponsorship offers before the first race. It would be helpful. Don't think it's going to happen. No, we're going to be travelling to the Black Sea. Oh no, we've got a couple of sponsors, but we'll do the mail first. Let's have a look here. I've prepared a brief report on the next race in Canada, Black Sea. 18 lap race, length is 2.6, lap record is 21.3. There's likely to be some rain during the race with Sunday showing a 40% chance. High speed circuit, which should suit cars with strong engines. Garuda Racing Company, the one to beat there. Super soft and soft. Yep, and the track is quite abrasive. Fine. Telemetry centre. We're never going to be able to have fast or efficient gear changes if we don't invest in a telemetry centre. Can we please put some money aside for one? Yeah, well, we've got $1 million, so, and it costs like 5 probably, so I'm not too sure, unless you want to give me the money for it. And finally, the moment all European Racing Series fans have been looking forward to is here at the start of a new season. So yeah, looking forward to that. Sponsors, let's have a look. Yeah, we've got 2 offers here. These are the fixed payment sponsors. So, right, Peach Plum is a 9-race deal with £350,000 per race, or Boa Vista is an upfront payment of $1 million but no fixed pay for 6 races. So it's $1 million from them, or £350,000 per race for 9 races. Well, I think I'm going to go for Peach Plum because in the long run, yeah, I mean, after 3 races, that £1 million, it gets overtaken by this. And I think if my maths is correct, I'm looking at just over 3 million for the 9 races. So I think I'll take that one, because in the long haul it gives us more money, which is nice. So if we go up here now, our income is almost 1.2 million per race. So that's quite helpful, and hopefully by the time we get a bit more money together, I could start developing new parts. Once all the reliability is sorted out, we'll have a quick look at the reliability of the gearbox. It's now both into the 70 range, which is nice. So hopefully by the time it's in the 80s, I can probably change it to maybe the brakes or the engine. So there we go. That's that's pretty much the bit of pre-season done. Drivers are drivers, aren't they, really? So, but yeah, I'll call the episode there, and in the second part we'll do the first race, which will be practice and the race. So hopefully we can get off to a good start of the season. I think all drivers do score points, so I'll be just happy if we can finish the race, really. Especially at this time of the season, we're pretty crap, so it's going to take a while to get better. But yeah, there's the first part, and part 2 should hopefully be done very soon.